Hello there, everyone. This is Aaron. I'm the designated announcer for the day. So our 8th episode of Mouth of the Wolves and 4th Vidcast today is gonna be on art. So we're in the capital of arts in Italy, so we can say it's a good subject to begin. So today, sadly, our designated host, Indira, couldn't join us. So Robbie took her place, and we're happy about it. He's gonna do a big.
I'm gonna do a big, great job.
Patrick as co-host. It's gonna work and help Robbie.
Gonna work
before we're in the
help me
in the job. So Willem is gonna supervise us all as the producer. He's gonna make sure everything goes for the best. So even I'm announcing that it's not working out. And in charge of the interviews is gonna be Valerio. Spotlight is Jack. Reviews is Alex. The game bit is gonna be Marilena. Make us have fun, please. News is Lexi. Camera operator Mari. And as engineer, which Robbie was supposed to be in charge of, we have Professor Kopersky. We hope he's gonna do a good job.
So that sound better be really nice and balanced.
So I think we can begin. Robbie.
But you didn't mention me.
I didn't mention you? Oh,
it's okay.
You are live. Sorry, Caitlin.
It's okay. Thank you.
This is Willem's fault.
Last but not least. Alright. How we doing? Doing good? Patty cakes?
Grand. Just trying to keep
Fantastic.
myself alive, you know?
The last
Getting
stretch.
through the days.
Last stretch, eh?
Finals, you know?
Yeah. I was thinking about art, and I'm obviously a little fill-in host right now. But what were we just talking about the other day? Because we just moved from Viale Trastevere to Piramide.
Yeah.
And this kid hit me with the fast fact about, when that thing was built.
14 before Christ.
The pyramid?
Pyramide in Testaccio.
I
14
definitely
BC.
consider that art.
How about that shit? Okay, we're talking about something. We're talking about something here where we're walking. You look out the balcony and you can see something that predates Jesus Christ. Like just chilling over there. There's seagulls, pissing on it or whatever.
Graffiti all around.
Graffiti everywhere. But it's beautiful. I mean, I like the statue a lot.
All
it's
right,
nice.
well, listen, which leads us to our next problem.
The seagulls.
I really like this new house of ours. It's spacious. We got a couple balconies and the terrace and everything. Big kitchen. The boys got a lot of room to roam around. But around the hours of 10 to 2.
Militant seagull attacks.
In the morning or in the evening?
Morning. In the morning. These things, they don't mess around. Okay.
Oh, so they do bounty runs.
He'll be sitting on the terrace or whatever, and he just looks at you and just yells at you as loud as he can. Yeah. And then he'll just dive with his buddy and just look like he's coming right at you, like trying to knock us off our own balcony.
On both sides of the building. We have a terrace on one side, we have a little balcony on the other. So the whole building is in between. We're on the terrace, and he'll literally, you won't hear anything or see anything, and all of a sudden you'll just see his belly come up from underneath. So he's flying from street level and going, and you just see him come right by. And you can tell it's been a problem before because all of the metal framework of our deck is got these spiky things on it to prevent him from landing.
Yeah.
Does he have a name yet? Have you named him?
No, but we've tried to kill him a couple times without naming him.
Well, that's the problem. You can't put this thing in handcuffs. You can't just be like, all right, disturbing the peace, lock him up, whatever. So it leaves you with another option.
Which is to try to impale the thing with a knife while he's flying.
Because you know what? We paid rent for peace, tranquility.
We're
owed a nice terrace. You know what I mean?
Well, they put up defense mechanisms.
Go?
We need long range attacks. The thing is, the thing he lands on our chimney.
No, but what I want to know is that okay?
Is it the
If
same
you-
one?
if you
Seagulls
kill the
suck,
seagull?
bro. Everyone hates them. It's a universal thing, so it's okay. They're also we didn't have seagulls in
I
Rome.
know
like,
you think it's okay.
all right. You're right. Because
Is
we've been down there.
Is there like a food source for him? Is
Nope.
that why he's
Nope.
living
You guys
in?
eating crackers up there? No.
Nope.
No.
Literally, where
Sometimes I
he
eat.
has access to, there has not been any food stuffs as of yet in our stay at this place.
Maybe there's a nest somewhere around.
Well, he
what-
brings some of his boys.
Oh
with
yes,
him,
there'll be
dude,
3-4
that's
of
for
them circling.
sure.
There'll be 3-4 of them doing like woo, flying right over at you, and it's pretty wild. I mean, like
Dude, I'm talking inches.
I think we have
Inches.
a grocery store below us, and I think that there might be a
It's
lot of
crap.
shit that they eat, you know. But well, the thing is though, Rome, we didn't really have seagulls in Rome 8, 10, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't as many, but there's such a garbage problem in Italy and in Rome especially that that's why there are seagulls all the way this far inland, is because Rome is just a garbage festival, and
They say
seagulls love to eat garbage,
It's also because they closed one of the dumps.
and now we export it.
Oh,
I
that's
think
good.
that's your solution.
And
Bring 'em-
so
bring 'em to my
yeah, so
house.
they came.
You
That's
just-
like legend has it. That's
Well,
why
we
they're.
send Italy. I'm not an Italian government official. Italy sends a lot of their garbage to Switzerland, where it's
Yeah,
used
it's true.
to run furnaces and create energy. So.
Anyway, if you do manage to kill it, like I think that's
should eat
okay. Yeah.
Thank you. We're not.
I mean,
gonna
I
eat it.
don't know if you.
Thank you.
I mean,
I just think the
hot-
Alka-Seltzer and trick works. The Alka-Seltzer trick, because
break.
seagulls
What's that?
can't pass any kind of gas, so if you give them Alka-Seltzer, they'll explode.
Was this
in the air.
knowledge that you had prior
Oh,
to
I've
your
been
seagull
down-
problem?
yes. Don't even
He's been
worry about it.
Alka-Seltzer and bird since '96.
Yeah.
Savage.
We got, you could use a number of different antacids to
How do you
annihilate
get the
birds.
antacid into
You got to
the
get them
seagull?
in some bread. You fold it up. You
Little
make like a
trickery,
little Wonder
buddy.
Bread little package, and you toss them. The other thing you do is we used to fish for seagulls. You throw a piece of chicken on a travel hook out on the beach and try and catch them and fly them like kites.
What is the
This
life?
is actually
What
kinda
is the
sounding
lifespan?
really
Yeah,
bad. I don't-
you make it sound
Well, I'm not-
sick.
I wasn't
Every
trying-
time.
Yeah, using it as a kite is sick.
Yeah. Well, I
Just
wasn't
go
using
buy
it as a
just
kite.
go
Like a
buy a
goddamn
kite for like $15.
I wasn't using it as a kite per se, but it became a kite.
Yeah, all right. Anyway,
You know?
we
I
got
feel
enough
like
problems
Patrick
with our
knows
seagulls.
enough to go to the reality show Survivor, and like you would survive there.
On seagulls and squirrels.
Interestingly enough, my dad did the advertising deal with the company Target in the United States.
Yeah.
He did where all the stuff, like all the like treasure chests and stuff that they found in the show had the Target symbol on them, and like all the actual targets of each of like the games had the Target symbol on them. He was the guy who did that little deal there. And they offered my mom a spot on the show, and she didn't go. Yeah. Anyhow,
Great
Smart
lady.
that was a long time ago.
Great lady.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we were a big Survivor family. We watched it all the time, and then it was just like, this is actual garbage. Like, there's literally nothing real happening here. They're like shooting it in a studio. I don't want to.
You think
Come
Bear
on.
Grylls was real, or like? What was he
Listen.
doing? Like,
When
what do you
people
think? That
talk
stuff's
trash,
real?
people talk trash, but of course, it's a lot of it. The majority of it is set up, but.
But
It's
he
okay.
still was
He
back
still
in
was
the
in the
day.
SAS.
Yeah,
Okay, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he could. The
Can't
tips
lie
that
about
and
it.
tricks that he does could save your life potentially.
Right.
You don't always have to drink your own piss.
Les
Not every
Stroud
day,
is
at
better,
least.
right? Survivor Man.
Yeah.
Les Stroud.
Les Stroud, yeah, good guy. He was pretty interesting with like making fire out of dung.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about something. Maybe
Art.
like art.
Let's talk about
Art.
something.
I
We get
agree
the
with
quick
that.
little move on, yet we have nothing, really set up. So we're just gonna keep it ripping.
Aren't you an art major, Robbie?
Yeah, absolutely not. Communications and marketing, but I mean, the only thing, off topic to art, because you're gonna see all the interviews and everything that's going down with our week and our segments. But I just think about the historical stuff in Rome and like down in the middle and stuff. I mean, you talk about the great architects of Rome and like Bernini and those people, and when they were summoned and how they come to Rome and how many years it takes. I think that's the thing that gets me the most, is like you see these paintings in like Farnesina or like wherever, right? And they are fantastic. And then you see the dates, the creation dates, and you're like, okay, early Renaissance, but it took them 20 years. Okay, so it took them the whole early Renaissance. You know what I mean? I think that's amazing to me, to go into like, to work day in and day out. I mean, granted, being summoned by the Pope would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
But to go in and day out, and at the end of 15 years, you're just like, got this 12 by 12.
Yeah. Well,
You know what
when
I
you're
mean?
summoned by the Pope, we could also like Sistine Chapel. That was a big, that was a big project. You know, there was, it was a little more than 12 by 12. That one.
No, but I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think myself, I don't think I could ever devote 20 years of my life to creating a painting, no matter how big it was.
Yeah. I feel like though, when you make a painting, you're never satisfied with. You can never really finish it. You know what I mean? Like, it's never finished to you. You always want to add it and improve it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like grows with you a little bit. The amount of layers of like paint that you get that really interesting like 3-dimensional spectrum. You like with the texture of paintings, especially with oil painting, and painting shapes and having things pop out of the canvas. But it grows. It's a growing thing.
Do you think Jackson Pollock was ever dissatisfied with his pieces?
That's a really good question, bro. I don't know. I mean, I think probably. I think he probably was dissatisfied with all of them.
He's like, oh, why didn't it just go over there?
Yeah, why didn't it go over there? Jeez, I should have used a mop instead of I don't know, paintballs. Are we gonna throw in any of these interview type things, guys? Anyone want to announce their own interview? Just put a little We'll talk about it for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Huh?
Well, you're the host.
I'm the co-host. I'm in the host chair.
Oh, sorry.
But so Caitlin, you talked to Professor.
Yeah, the professor.
Howling.
Very good. Yeah, that was
That's all right.
Marina. Yes, she is the director of the sculpture, printmaking, and drawing department of our university. And she's been here for 5 years. And today is the opening of the student exhibition for the end of the semester. And so I went over there to discuss with her the work of the students and to check it out. It was actually the first time I'd set foot in in that building. So I wanted to thank this class for exposing me to something new, and I hope that it's successful. There was some. I didn't see the painting side of the exhibition, but the printmaking and the sculpture was really cool, and I hope that you guys like my segment.
Cool. Let's watch it.
Hello, everybody. I'm here at the AUR Student Art Show happening currently, and I would like to do a little interview with the professor of printmaking, sculpture, and drawing. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Marina Bühning, and welcome, and let's see the questions.
So is this student work cumulative for the year, or how many students are involved?
This semester for the printmaking there were, I think, 10 students. For the sculpture also 10, and for the drawing 12 students.
Is there a specific theme for the show, or were students able to choose the content of their work?
No, it's not really, because they don't really work for the show. The show is more or less a product of the end of the semester, so it presents all the work they did during the semester, and at the end of the semester actually we choose together which work is worth showing.
And as you're teaching throughout the semester, do you concentrate more on technique, or do you concentrate on concept and overall, like when you're choosing the work to show, is it more about mastering the technique, or about what kind of concepts are being portrayed?
Well, it is actually about both, because technique, especially with sculpture and with printmaking, there's a lot of technique involved, also with drawing actually. And the technique, especially in the beginning, they learn a lot about the technique, but then of course more you handle the technique, then you must have also some ideas about what you want to present, what you want to do. So in a way, the technique and the presentation, the concept, always goes one in another.
Thank you. And how long have you been a professor at AUR?
I think by now for 5 years.
And is there any advice that you would give students on how to price their art if this was a real show?
How to
price, how to maybe come up with the worth of their work.
I got it. This is a difficult question because actually in the art the prices depends a lot on the market, let's say. So if you don't have a name, you don't sell for a high price. If you have a name, you sell for higher prices, and it depends very much where you are standing on the market. So as a student, you probably wouldn't be on a very high level. You would be more on a lower level. But I think all this pricing thing, especially when you start, it's better to forget about it because it can kill your creativity. And I'm much more a preacher really for develop your creativity, and then later you can think about that.
When it's time. When people. Are you a practicing artist yourself? And if so, what medium is your preferred?
Yeah, I'm originally sculptor, but I do also a lot of printmaking, but I work more in not in linoleum. I work with aquatinta, aquaforte, and other techniques. And in sculpture, I work a lot with stone, but I do also installation. And yeah, and of course, with that comes that I'm also a drawer. Because this is sort of drawing is always the background of all the arts.
And sorry, I'm forgetting my questions. How long will this show be up?
The show is just for the end of semester show, and it will be a few days, and then we have to take it off because also students are leaving, and there are involved also a lot of students abroad in this show, so they want to take home their work, of course.
Would you want to show me a little bit around the room? We can take the camera with us and.
So, this is actually a student who is not an art student. She is, I think, communication she's studying, but she is fascinated by art, and she's doing nearly every semester an art course more out of passion than really, and this is really nice. So she did different techniques with 2 plates. This is, for example, to put color in it, you need 2 plates of linoleum. These are all linoleum, and this is a monoprint, where you print very easily on a glass. You put the color, and then you scrap it out. So let's go here. She is an art student and doing actually her capstone, her final exam this year. And you see also that she's very sophisticated in her lines, has a very pronounced style also. But what was new for her this semester to put together, this print is a sort of traditional punta secca, it's called, dry point, and together with linoleum on top. And if you really go here, you see that she did it sort of over the... So that it's very fine. It's a sort of sophisticated work. Okay. This is another. He's also an art student. He does a major in art, but he's still rather in the second semester, I think. And this is this was the first plate, and then he did a second plate with a color, and probably has to work on this plate also a little bit. So this is also this is with linoleum, I think. And this is with a woodcut. This is a woodcut, actually. You don't really see much the difference, but it's a difference in the technique. And this is a student who was only here this year. These are also monoprints. So that means that you put on the glass a color, and then actually he printed with a little linoleum print. He printed this, and also here. This is also with linoleum print, but in the end it's an here you have also different. These are all linoleum prints. This is done with different, with one plate, but doing first one print and then cutting out more, then doing a second print, and cutting out more, then doing a third print. Therefore she has these colors. It is with the one plate, but it's with different stadiums, so she could do that. And this is with different, instead is with different plates, so that she can use different colors. Actually, it's 2 plates, so she has these 2 colors and the white.
Very nice.
Okay, and this is also a student who was studying abroad. This is with 3 plates, because these are extra plates, and he was combining. So you see, this is a nice thing with printmaking. It is very technical, but then you can play around a lot. This is what I really love, and actually the students also enjoy. And she is also doing her exam. She's an art student. You can also see, because she's really very, very free how she worked. And these are all monoprints again, and she worked a lot with stencils. That means that she cut out paper and then colored it and then printed it on top. Or these were real flowers, which she sort of put into the print, under the press in the very beginning. So this is white, and sort of really playing a lot around. So sometimes, for example, here she first messed up. These are even mistakes, but in a way, these mistakes, how it finishes all together, I think they come out very well. So this is also doesn't mean, if you do a mistake, sometimes with printmaking or also in the art in general, it doesn't mean that a mistake is always not good. It can also mean a mistake can push your creativity, and then you do something else out of it, and then it's not anymore a mistake. It's just you just won.
Victory.
The victory. Right.
And what about some of the sculpture? Was there anything?
This was a weekend. Actually, we organized it like that in the weekend in my studio, which is in the countryside, 60 kilometers north from Rome, in the Sabina. And we have 3 days more or less where we work with clay, but we do also a lot of theory about sculpture. So everybody has to present one sculpture of contemporary or modern sculpture. And the first assignment, actually, we worked about, you can see it here. Just bring it a little bit nearer here so you can.
Thank you.
The first assignment was to do a ball, or a pyramid, or a square, because these are the main forms which is in every sculpture, and then to put them together how they want. And they put them together that they use from one form 1 piece and from the other form 2 pieces. So this is sort of very academic in a way how she did it, and so it's also good for explaining. But of course there are other solutions which are completely different. And this is actually a work she did in the end free, but you see the influence from the first work in a way. So she just worked with these square and rectangle forms and put them together, which I found actually rather interesting for somebody who just starts. So there are also a lot of students in this course who were not art students. Actually there was only 1 art student. All the rest were business students, communication, whatever, and they love to get really a little bit, to come really a little bit into their creativity and to do something.
So this was all produced in 1 weekend?
Yes.
And
yes.
by beginners?
Yes.
Very impressive.
Yes.
Very nice to see.
Yes.
And what type of clay is it? Is it a specific?
It is a clay which has in it, it's a very strong clay, and it has in it chamot, which means it is fired clay in dust, let's say. So you can see it here because this is not fired, and you can see these things come out because there is this chamot inside and makes it rather strong, so that it's easier to work for sculpture and it makes it stronger. Actually, we did one project the others didn't bring, where everybody got a sort of piece of clay which was already rather hard. Then they had to to sculpt, so they had to take away. This is this other part of sculpturing actually. Either you build up or you take away. When you work with stone, you can't do it in a different way. And that was rather successful actually.
It creates a very interesting texture also when it's finished.
Right, and you're forced. You get a little bit freer out in your form because you are forced to work in a certain way. You are not so free, so you have really to go with the form what comes out.
So it's a successful course.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, I thought it was successful, and everybody enjoyed, and was really happy to have done it.
So on that note, I won't take up any more of your time, and it was a really thank you so much.
I mean, I thought it was successful, and everybody enjoyed, and was really happy to have done it.
So on that note, I won't take up any more of your time, and it was a really thank you so much for just having met you, for taking the time with me, and I hope it goes well.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, thanks. And what I think is like kind of interesting about it, the pricing question. Say like you were to go on Instagram or social media platform and you were to get somebody who has a name that already has a reputation built for themselves but through something else, okay? And then you put it like a magnificent artist who's creating these pictures. And of course, like, yeah, okay, ethically you shouldn't tell them to pass it off as their own work, okay? But say you do. Say like the artist doesn't have enough of a name for themselves to drive the price point of that art up. So to prove a point, you wanted to just prove that the name is everything. So you put the beautiful piece of art from somebody who made it and sold their art for $50. Put it in the name of somebody with 1.5 million followers and try and sell it for $1,500.
Right. Just to see the value of a name.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That'd be crazy.
That would be an interesting experiment. We'd have to know some really cool people, famous people, to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So let's get looking, huh?
Plug it.
Start calling phone numbers and stuff because.
Who should we get?
I don't know anybody really who's selling paintings that are worth like $1 million or anything. So I don't know.
Maybe there could be.
Man. Well, yeah,
like 10 G's. That's fine by me.
Yeah.
A little cash flow in the pocket.
My dad's cousin is actually a pretty famous artist in Austria.
Yeah.
Her name is, Anita Wittek, or Vitek as they say.
Vitek.
Vitek.
Nice.
Yeah. So she's been doing art for a really long time. I think like maybe 20 years or something like that. But she's only recently started to get a really big name built up around herself. Like she won the award for like the best artist in Austria last year.
Wow.
Super big honor.
That's sick.
Yeah, she's really talented too. All of her pictures are super conceptual. Like they play with depth perception a lot. It's awesome. And you could just see like the process from like how much her paintings were valued at up until she won this award.
Right.
And then like my grandfather was telling her the whole time, it's like, it's all about the name. It's all about the name. Picasso without the name is nothing.
My great grandfather was a professional clown. Yeah. He was a clown for Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey when they first merged back in the day. Yeah.
Attaboy Gramps.
Yeah, great. I mean, he was like pretty famous, like seriously famous at the time. And
as a clown.
Yes, as a clown.
That is awesome.
My brother Jack, he's bartending at the Dark Horse in Mendham, New Jersey, and he ran into an old guy who was a clown that knew. Oh, there you go, bud. Yeah, good
Rip
shit.
it out.
That knew him and was like close personal friends with him. After we never met him. But
You think being a clown is an art form?
I think so. They go to clown college.
Yeah.
I think it's an art form. I think there's a lot of
They
things.
go to clown school.
Yeah, well, they do go to clown school, but I don't think that like there should be such strictures on art. Like I think that's what I was going to talk about really with Indira is craftsmanship, trades, people, anything that is made with the hands. I think of a human being can be art. And it doesn't have to be a sculpture or fine art, It could be,
I agree.
I mean, if you go to like a Griffin and Howe or like a really, really high-end gun retailer and you see some really fine like match pairs of shotguns with amazing engraving, and there are shotguns that you could pay, $300,000 or $400,000 for, and they're just unbelievably painstaking detail and beautiful, engraving and bluing of the metal and the whole process. The woodwork is amazing, and I think even people making chairs and rocking chairs and stuff like that, woodworking, architecture, cobblers, any kind of craftsmen, blacksmiths and cobblers, and people make shoes for people make shoes for horses.
Yeah, to me it all just goes back to like art is just like creativity. Like you could even throw it into sports, you know what I mean? Like you get a quarterback who just throws like a 40-yard bomb and tucks it in between 3 defenders. Like that's art to me because of like timing, placement and stuff like that. But I mean, that's
and
just
it's also valued at a price.
You better believe it.
And the style of achieving certain goals when you're playing a sport, the style of play. How you got a lot of space to get from one end of the field to the other. A
lot of the times, like when you see a play like that in sports, like what you're seeing is the foresight to be able to read a play like that, and that's the art, because not anybody can see the field that way, and it's just like how an artist, not anybody can see the canvas that way. You know what I mean?
You watch like Tiger Woods highlights and like Jack Nicklaus and Phil Mickelson highlights, and it's art. It's art because they have a completely different approach to every hole. Yeah. So we got a little what are we talking about over here, Alex? You did another photography thing, right? A photography display.
Yeah, I went down to Trastevere and I saw this new exhibit that's there on Vivian Maier, the photographer. She's been one of my favorites for a while. I saw a documentary about her called Finding Vivian Maier, and it's pretty much just tells her whole life story and everything. It's super, super fascinating.
Cool.
She's very enigmatic. Nobody really knew like anything about her. Like she claimed to have been from France, but then some people thought she was definitely American. Wow. She moved around all the time, so she's just total mystery.
Just took candid.
Mr. Woman.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, but so here's my segment. I hope you guys
check it out.
Enjoy it. This week on Alex Reviews, Vivian Maier. Since her work was brought to public attention after it was discovered hidden away in an attic, Vivian Maier has been the subject of international acclaim, as well as speculation, as not much is concretely known about her life. She traveled around America and Europe, bringing her camera everywhere. When her collection was discovered, it held more than 150,000 negatives to be sorted through, containing countless iconic photographs from France to San Francisco. Her subjects were almost exclusively candid shots, providing beautifully honest snapshots of life in cities. Each subject seemed to breathe with a personality and an unexplainably vivid backstory. Her Rolleiflex camera forced her to shoot primarily from the waist height, giving the majority of her pictures a low-angle sense of majesty. Whether shooting a homeless person or an elegant Fifth Avenue socialite, the subject appears noble and dignified. For an amateur, Maier's framing is professional and artistically developed. Most of her wide shots depict a highly contextualized city life experience, while anything tighter than a medium shot was deeply personal and often romantic. Fascinatingly, most of her pictures take on multiple subjects and often deal with reflections, an artistic quality that leaves the viewer wondering what they're actually meant to be looking at, or even what they're looking at all.
All right, good stuff. And so what do you think, is your favorite part about her?
My favorite part about her? It was just how brave and bold she was, because she was always just going up to people, and she didn't ask permission to take their pictures. She just took it, and they always turned out beautifully. There's some that are really, really iconic that she's done. That's just her running up to someone in the middle of the street, who's about to get into a car, and she just snaps a quick picture. And they look gorgeous. They look beautiful.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do, to achieve.
Yeah, we just learned that on the photography trip to Paris.
Yeah, I was so shy taking pictures of people, because then they would turn around and see you, be like, what are you doing?
It's very embarrassing. That's what Professor Villani was talking about. There's this feeling that even when you're looking at a picture, like a candid picture of someone, you feel embarrassed.
Secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, when someone notices that you're taking the picture, because you're like, oh, I shouldn't have been doing that. I'm a little nosy.
Yeah. But then just it sounds to me like she's all about capturing a moment.
Exactly.
And when you capture a moment like that, in time, and you're really, really good at it, like she is. And when you capture a specific moment, that moment grows in grandeur. Do you know what I mean? Because of if you really get the moments hold all these things inside of them. So while all these other people might try and capture a moment, sure, you captured a moment, but in every moment that like these artists capture and stuff, like within it, I feel like there's power. There's power within the moment. You know what I mean? And that to me is, you know, like where I draw the line. What the power within?
Well, I mean, you can look at all these pictures that lasted for a second. You know, like most of her paintings, or most of her, I don't always say paintings because they're just as good.
Yeah.
But most of her photographs, it's insane how much meaning you can put behind them, even though that she was just spontaneously walking past.
You could draw a whole story.
There's a lot going on. Yeah. Like she's got a lot of subjects. You know, you were showing us, and like there's so many different little stories intersecting, and kind of just. I don't know. I also think that the age and the black and white, it's just a very simple, and I don't know. She's really cool. I like it a lot.
Do you think there's an archive out there where there's all of her pictures that aren't candid? Like it's the pictures that she took of the subjects who aren't looking candid and they didn't turn out well?
I think
she burned them.
No, you can find her entire collection because, as I understand, the story is she kept them all in this storage room or something like that, and she couldn't pay for it anymore, so the state took it away from her. And this guy went and he bought it, and he found boxes upon boxes. There's 150,000 negatives.
Wow, that's a lot.
So she never, in her lifetime, like pursued a career as a photographer. It was all sort of a hobby.
Yeah, she never once thought about money at all. It was all just because this is what she wanted to do. And actually, towards the end of her life, in the like 70s, 80s, she spent a lot of time recording people with like a sound recorder, kind of like this. She would just run up to people in the store and be like, "Hey, what do you think about the gas crisis?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know." She goes, "Oh, women ought to have opinions." You know.
Solid.
That's cool.
Interesting.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, solid. Moving on. What we got next?
You want a game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Play a game.
Okay.
Feature on the graphs.
Well, originally I was going to pass out because I made like flyers, but I don't have enough pens for that, so we're just gonna go like one by one and I'll ask you a question. Okay. First question. What artist was struck in the face with a mallet by an envious rival, disfiguring him for life? Titanian, Rembrandt, Michelangelo, or Raphael?
Rembrandt. Didn't he have a fake nose?
Raphael.
I'm with Pat.
No, Michelangelo.
Really?
While studying at the Academy of Ancient Art in the Medici Palazzo, Michelangelo not only developed his genius as a sculptor, but also excited the worth of his rival Duregon, who struck him with a mallet, crushing the nose on his face and disfiguring him for life.
I actually should have known that. I am sorry, Mrs. Borghese.
Oh, you took out of Renaissance and Baroque?
Yeah, we watched the movie and everything.
No, that was maybe I watched the one Caravaggio, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Okay, second question. How many paintings did Van Gogh sell during his lifetime? 1, 842, 27, or 193?
I actually know this answer.
Ooh.
We'll say it.
That is, I believe he sold one in his lifetime because he gave all of his paintings to his brother in exchange for a monthly allowance, and then his brother sold all of them. He was an art dealer.
So his brother's balling.
Well, I mean, they still didn't make that much.
Yeah, he only sold one painting, The Red Vineyard at Arles, which was purchased by the sister of one of his friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotta die to be good.
Yeah, I don't like that rule. You know what I mean? I know it's not a rule, but come on.
Well,
who gets the money?
Picasso was famous in his own time. He was like a rock star.
All right, but
there were so many artists.
I know there's a ton that were like at the time, but like, say you do die,
right?
Who gets the money just down the line?
And your family.
Yeah.
Your family. You just bequeath your paintings to your family.
Toss it in the will. You're like, yeah, my brother gets my paintings. I die. Like, you know, they skyrocket.
Somebody's gonna do something with them. You know what I mean? Like they will exist after you're dead. So at the end of the day, you really you gotta sacrifice control there, buddy, because you're not breathing anymore, so you don't really care.
Next one. How long did it take Leonardo da Vinci to paint the Mona Lisa's lips? 12 weeks, 12 years, 12 months, or 12 days?
Days.
Who said years? Correct.
12 years?
12 years.
Yeah.
Freaking Christmas, man.
That's
is
what I'm
wild.
saying, man. Like, how can
Just
you just
for
be
the
like,
lips.
I'll work on these lips?
How much did the rest take?
Yeah, that could
It
have been.
doesn't say. I don't know.
It could have been like every
It was
day
like
going to the office and
12
painting.
like 12 years and a month. Like he did everything and then like
Yeah.
12 years for the
Big
lips.
12 guy.
Well, those are not
That's
even lips. Good lips. They're just like.
Whoa.
Have you ever been to the Doof? And,
Yeah.
Isn't it so annoying how the
His lips took
picture
12
is like
years,
so
son.
small? It's on the other side, and there's 10,000 people in
Yeah.
between you, and you're just like, oh, look at that, look at her over there. Yeah, her eyes really follow you. You're like, you can't get anywhere close. I mean, you can, but
It's behind like 3 things of glass.
yeah, super annoying. I think it would be cool. We haven't had a good art robbery lately. You know what I mean? What's the time?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, actually, right. There was one that happened like a couple
Yeah,
days ago.
yeah.
Didn't somebody say something about that?
No, I swear it was like maybe a month ago, though. But some,
I completely
in
missed that.
the Italian mafia in,
Oh, right.
in Napoli, the Gomorrah.
Yeah. It was like getting the paintings back, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
read
they
about it. It
got
was
one
like back in
back.
January,
Yeah.
so I didn't
Yeah.
write about
Yeah,
it. I was
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
it's gonna be like, oh,
So-
so long ago.
Wow,
Yeah, but it was a big one. It was a big one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big
Yeah.
deal, for sure.
All right, right on. All right, hit us with one more, and then
Okay,
we'll
I'll hit you
peace
with
out.
one more. What does Italian artist Maurizio Savini make sculptures out of? Chewing gum, colored pencils, rubber tires, or bread?
Pencils.
Isn't it pencils?
I hope.
There
I
is
pray
another
it's
way to
pencils.
do it.
So cool.
Together
It
and
better be
shape.
pencil.
Pencils.
It's chewing gum.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you know what?
No.
Wait a
No,
minute.
I'm fed up.
There's ones. There's really famous paintings, but I don't remember who the artist is. But he peed on a piece of metal and it caused like a discoloration, and that was like that piece of
oh my
art
God.
sold for
That's in it's in Boston right now.
There you go. It's
Yeah,
right.
I see it all the time. Actually,
It's
let's
worth
picture it on my
shit
phone.
ton of
Stop
money,
it.
too. It's
I'll see
worth
if
a
I
lot
can
of
upload
money.
it up right now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's just piss on what is it? It's on like copper, I guess.
Yeah, it's on copper.
Yeah, so that it caused some erosion.
That upsets me. I mean, that it really does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the gum thing upsets me, and the painting for 25 years is not my favorite. I just feel like I'd go to bed and just be like, man, I killed it today.
It's all over a bunch of copper.
17 packs of Hubba
Yeah.
Bubba and made this guy with a demented face.
I drank 10
I drank
ounces
some
of water
water
and
now.
I pissed all over my house.
Yeah.
See what it
It's
turns
awesome.
into.
Also, you
Make rainbows.
also have to go to work, or you're like
Right,
filthy
whatever's
rich,
paying
so
for
you
your
don't.
life.
Yeah, you don't
Right.
have
If
to
you're,
worry.
you're not a famous artist, you know.
Parents. You squid.
Well, I guess like only Alex and Lexi got one right, so I guess you're gonna have to share this.
Oh, there's a
Anyone want to see this piss art?
You want to put it in front of the camera?
Well, it's a 360 camera. It'll always be in front.
It's 180, I thought.
Oh.
We're only doing 180, I think.
I want them to see my chocolate. I don't win things all the
Oh, that
time.
one's a good one.
That is a good one, actually.
Yeah, it's delicious.
That's a great chocolate bar. No,
All right, what do we got? We got another one, don't we? Another segment?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Alright, where are the news?
I have the news.
Oh yeah, let's hear the news.
She's got the news.
So right now in Rome, there's the Real Bodies Museum. Have you guys heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff is wild.
Body
Yeah,
roll?
it's really crazy. It was in Orlando a couple years ago, and it was like really, really cool. It's over by the Maxi Museum. It's open every day from 10 to 7, and it's only €14 for students, and it opened April 8th. I don't know how long it's here for. I think just a couple months, so but everyone should go check it out. Also, Louis Vuitton started a new collection. Have you guys seen it? It has like Mona Lisa on it.
Oh, yeah.
They paired up with Jeff Koons. He's famous for reproduction paintings. But he started new purses and stuff like that, and it has like the Mona Lisa on it and like a bunch of Van Gogh paintings and stuff like that. They're not that great looking, but I guess people want them.
Didn't love him.
What's a reproduction painting?
Like I guess he reproduces like
Painting.
Yeah, it's just
He's a
like,
forger. In other words, he forges.
yeah. I guess he's really famous though. And then
Copyright infringement.
have you guys heard of the Museum of Ice Cream?
No.
Okay, well it's like it's in LA right now, but it's apparently really cool. Tickets started at $29, but they sold out like the first day, and now they're going for like $150. But basically, you just like it doesn't even sound that great. I don't know.
Like you go in a room with like 10,000 bananas, and you can get in a pool with 100,000 sprinkles.
Wait a minute.
That sounds pretty cool.
First of all,
So you're the
100,000
ice
sprinkles
cream?
in a pool. That's kind of sanitary. First, second of all, the bananas.
Eating disorder.
I mean,
You know how many
do
like
that.
do you know about banana spiders? Like I wouldn't want to be in a room with 100,000 bananas. Depending on the size of the room, I guess.
Yeah, I don't
If it was an
know.
aircraft hang, like
But people are
hangar,
paying like $125 to go do that.
So it's an
Wow.
experience. It's like an
Yeah.
immersion.
get bit by a freaking tropical
to get in
spider.
like a
dude.
pool
Yeah.
of sprinkles.
Somewhere
I don't know.
in
It's
there.
weird.
Pool of sprinkles would be cool, like in Patch Adams, the spaghetti pool for the old lady at the end. Great moment in film history.
Wouldn't people eat them though? I feel like your pool would get really shallow.
When you get a mouthful of sprinkles, it's really not a great flavor.
Oh
It's very
no!
waxy.
But if you're paying
It's the
120
texture, I
bucks,
think.
you know.
Gotta get your money's
Yeah,
worth.
you gotta get at least one.
There's also like an ice cream parlor in there and
Well, I
stuff
would
like
assume.
that. But those are the main attractions. So.
$120, much as you can eat.
Yeah, it's a little wild.
Just dive in.
Oh, we got
have
some.
a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, right on.
But that's what I have for
Nice.
the news today.
Perfect.
Cool. Wonderful.
Yeah, I spotlighted something
You
this week.
spotlighted.
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
I went to the opera 2 days ago, over at Teatro dell'Opera, and I went to go see Andrea Chenier by Umberto Giordano, and it was pretty cool. Definitely would suggest going to the opera at any point. Has anybody else gone to an opera here yet?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
not here.
Yeah.
And just in general, it's a cool experience.
Yeah.
But
I think I was raised loving opera. Like my pop, my father's father, like had a big part in raising me. So we listened to Puccini all the time. We would both be in the workshop, like fixing things from around the house and listening to opera music. And
yeah.
so I got really into like that kind of stuff. But I saw that you were a little underdressed for the opera, man. I'm pretty sure.
I was wearing a sweatshirt. I was wearing a nice shirt.
Did the hoodie
underneath
come
it.
off?
Underneath
The hoodie
it,
did
you
come
went-
off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I did
alright,
feel
alright.
uncomfortable.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
the opera that I went to was in the same style that Puccini was.
Oh,
Verismo, yeah.
Nice.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
so
my
that was pretty cool.
butterfly and there's something about the emotion in those pieces of music, like the way that it makes you feel, literally physically feel.
Yeah, because
feelings.
you have the strong emphasis on the singing, and then you have the orchestra backing it
Yeah.
up. It's
Yeah.
a great
And the
little.
stories.
Pretty solid.
It is.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks it's soft for guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're just a bag of marshmallows if you go to the opera.
No, you
But like
got
to
it.
be honest with you, like sit
better.
down, grab a bottle of red wine, and just take it in because it's the real deal.
Yeah, and like just the venue itself is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So
Yeah.
All right, right
Cool,
on.
let's check
it
her out.
out.
So we just got out of Andrea Chenier, and I will say, out of the two operas that I've been to while I've been here, this was my favorite. It was a little shorter, but the storyline was much easier to follow, and the singers were actually much better. I could actually tell a difference in their voice, which is surprising. If I could tell a difference, I'm sure all of these actual opera people could tell their voices apart from mediocre singers. I also misspoke. Apparently there's only one other classmate of mine in the entire thing. Our class went a couple weeks ago and we unfortunately couldn't go. So we'll flip it over to him now and see his comments, and then we'll flip it back over to you guys in the studio.
As Jack talked about, I just got out of the performance of Andrea Chenier by Umberto Giordini, better at pronunciating than him. Again, I love this opera. It was a lot better than the last one I went to. The singers were a lot louder, and you could tell just by the reaction in the crowd that their voices were better and more well received, better received. Overall, the setting again was really cool. I loved the French Revolutionary-based outfits, and the set design changed every act, which I thought was something that was really cool and kept the audience engaged instead of just one stagnant scene. I'll just throw it over to you now, Jack.
Thank you, Brendan, for that. I definitely agree. The voices were much more powerful. So I do recommend, if you have a free weekend or free weeknight, we went on a weeknight, in a couple of hours, definitely come check out an opera or two. I know there's a couple, and you can check them out online at Teatro dell'Opera. Terrible pronunciation there, but definitely come art yourself. So we just got out of Andrea Chenier pronunciation for that. So
Lovely.
Nice.
Couldn't sneak
Thank
too
you.
many shots in there.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. Well,
Just
yeah,
got
you can't
just
really
the
do
one of
that.
them bowing at the end, and then
Yes.
some before it started.
Right on.
Oh, right. Valerio, interview. We're interviewing all over the place.
Absolutely.
Let's check it out. We get a little intro here. What do you got? What do you got for us today?
Okay, I got
Interview with your brother.
an interview of my brother, which is a musician called AV0, and we take a tour of his studio here in Rome.
Cool. Start playing with the synths and stuff. Like, I just think it would be so cool if in like 25 years your brother was like a super huge artist and you could look back on that little thing.
Yeah.
I do really
You
hope.
know?
We are trying to, being, I don't know,
Push 'em
being
up the
famous
ladder.
together or something like.
Yeah.
He makes music for my films, and I make music videos for his
Uh-huh.
music and that kind of stuff.
That's pretty cool,
I like
man.
it.
You
Reciprocity.
guys could open a production company.
I think
There
that
you
looks
go.
like it's happening, huh?
Oh yeah, but the problem is that I haven't, and him either. We haven't kind of a background in maybe, knowing how to sell yourself
There
or
you
that
go.
kind of thing, the economic
Marketing,
things.
there you
Yeah,
go.
You
the
need to get
marketing.
some representation, brother.
That's it.
You know what I mean? You gotta
Right
get
here.
somebody to
Back
sell your
around
shit
that.
for you. All right, check
Right
it
on.
out.
Check it out.
Hello, my name is Valerio, and this is my brother, Gabriele Duregon, and he's a professional musician. Say something, I don't know, about your musical project and what is the origin of it.
Okay, I'm a composer, I'm a musician, and I'm studying sound design. This is my job. Basically, it's my job. Yeah, I used to compose many soundtracks for commercials, for short movies, and some things like that. I have an electronic music project called AV0.
So, Gabriele, could we take a look at your studio?
Sure. Okay, this is my home studio. Sorry again for the mess. Please don't take the chaos, please. It's just a home studio. So okay, no, those are not my scenes. Those are Valerio's scenes.
Okay.
Okay.
but they
that
are in
doesn't matter.
this studio.
No, okay. This is my home studio. This is my. Those are my instruments. I started buying synthesizer in 2008. That's the period when I started to make electronic music. And then since I started to to have so much stuff. Not as much as a real professional studio, but just a little much for a home studio. But I like so many sounds. So let's start. Just see some of those scenes. This is an Andromeda A6. Now I can make you hear the sound, but because it's not connected. Hi again. Hi. Those are some of my instruments, which I collected for years, and I use daily almost every synth I got. This is, for example, is one of my best, Andromeda A6. I'm very proud of this synth. You can hear just a sample right here, with a little bit of a delay on my favorite DAW, called Ableton Live, you probably also know. This is the sound. Fantastic. One of my favorite. Thank you. I know the sound could be a little bit fuzzy, but I like those sounds. I like the retro sounds. I like every sound I like. Those are part of my equipment. This is a vocal effect I very like. This is a preamplifier, semi-modular synth, analog drum machine, and a good microphone. Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Don't record it too much. I used to work just here. It's the only thing in my life that is not complete mess. But you see also other instruments, but I can't show you everything. Now I'll make you hear something. This piece I make you hear was written between 2010 and 2015. 5 years to complete my first long-awaited album, based completely on David Lynch's Twin Peaks, in which I recorded manually all the vocals, all the dialogues, and of all the characters. Just make you hear something. As I said before, my favorite DAW is Ableton Live. Even if I use Cubase pretty much. Just a little taste.
What kind of fantastic trees do you got growing up here? Big, majestic. Douglas firs. Douglas firs. What do you got? Okay, first of all, contents of envelope found in Palmer diet and cocaine. Toxicology results also positive. News flash, the little lady had a habit. Next, we've got fibers of twine embedded in her wrists and upper arms, 2 different kinds of twine. Fibers of twine found in a railroad car. Matched the sample from her wrist. The same twine was used to bind the wrists of the Pulaski girl. Conclusion, she was tied up twice at different locations on the night of her death. Once here, and once here. Like this. Sometimes my arms bend back.
I can let you hear everything because it's so long. This album is about 1 hour of strange drones, ambient, creepy fields and vocals, noises, screams, laughings. I don't want to talk about that.
And could you make us hear, I don't know, some other things?
Oh yes, sure. Okay, I don't make just terrible drones and ambient screams. I make every type of electronic music, and for when requested, every type of music. And this is one of my newest pieces.
Yeah, probably the low end with the microphone of the camera will suffer a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't mind. I know there are just 5 people behind here.
No, don't say it.
So. Things like liquid drums or solid drums, not just powerful kicks and big snares. I don't like the most common ones. But at the end, my favorite part is making drums. As a musician, I love any type of music, and I have my favorites, which are so many. But one thing I want to show you is my passion for Indian music, Indian traditional music, and this instrument is called tampura, and it sounds like this. Is used to make a solid bass for Indian classic instruments.
Okay, so now this is the time for the wrap up of everything, and it's late night and we should all go to bed. Probably, I don't know if Gabriele will continue working.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, a creature of the night. Thanks, Gabriele, for letting us taking a sneak peek to your basement.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks.
And okay, this is the material for the interview. Thanks for watching, and so goodbye. See you on our spaceship.
Diatonic. Thanks. Bye, Gabriele.
Viene da ridere.
Sì, lo so. This is the diatonic whistling.
All right, good stuff. No doubt.
Fit a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
It's pretty good. It's an action-packed episode of Mouth of the Wolves this week.
Thanks everybody for coming on down. This is it for now, and I'm pretty sure we'll see you guys next week. And we got something special for you. It's gonna be a fun one, and we're gonna have a little farewell episode and do a couple other fun things throughout the week. So we'll see you guys then.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye bye.
Cheers.
Eagle Fister out.
Eagle Fister.
That's my call sign at home.
Eagle Fister.